Welcome to one more game presented by Hoosier Pickleball. I am your host, Matt Brandenberger, alongside my lovely wife, Abigail. And we are joined, the unfamiliar face that you see on the screen right now. This is Alex Spancake. And Alex, we just really met within the last week or so, kind of got connected through Facebook. And Alex is a very interesting guy. We've had a chance to chat a couple times. Full disclosure, had some tech issues, and so we're back at this again. But it gave us a chance to get to know Alex a little bit, and we're really excited to have him on the podcast. There is a ton that we want to get to, and you'll kind of see that as we go. But first of all, Alex, thank you for joining us. And you, like us, just got off the pickleball court not too long ago. You want to tell us what you were doing?
Yeah, well, thanks for having me on, Matt, Abby. Should be fun. I just got done with the drill session. Really trying to work my resets. I feel like people don't realize how many balls they hit in that transition zone. So
Right.
Yeah, that was my evening.
Yeah. And isn't that so true, though? I mean, kind of off topic, that what we're going to really talk about, but that was one of the things that somebody told me right away when we started, is like, they called it no man's land, like stay out of that. But I feel like my game really elevated once I got comfortable in that transition zone and learned to hit those, mid-court resets and whatnot. You kind of have a similar experience with that?
Yeah, it's such a strange shot, especially coming from tennis. That is a shot there's no tennis equivalent, really.
Right.
Except when you yeah.
No, I was just say, tell us about your drill. I think this is awesome information for anybody who's listening. This is a great drill to do.
Oh yeah. Okay, so you have it's a two-person drill. One person is in no man's land trying to reset everything. But the trick is the other person is actually standing in the kitchen. So they can really hit down on the ball, add some pace. The person resetting balls has less time to react.
Yeah.
And so once you do that for a couple minutes, when the person takes a step back and stands behind the kitchen, everything seems easier.
That's awesome.
I love it. I'm going to do that.
It's kind of like a heavy bat drill, right? Because once they go back, you're like, man, this game's easy.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, you have so much margin for error. Yeah.
Right.
I think that's fun.
That's awesome. All right. Well, I got a little sidetracked there. That's my ADD kicking in. But so tell us, Alex, just a little bit about yourself, personally, professionally, how you got started with pickleball, and really we're hyping up a website that you started called Pklmart. So talk a little bit about that, and we'll just let you go.
Cool. Yeah. So I'm Alex, based out of the Washington, D.C. area. Been up here for about 6 years now. Originally from right outside of Raleigh, North Carolina. You see my day job. Lot of data. Been in the analytics world for, I guess, 6-7 years now. And so that is my day job, and I love playing pickleball. I started during COVID, like many of us. I think my uncle lives in an area where all the old people there play pickleball. He's like, you should try it. So I did, and I was like, oh, this is awesome, and I'm instantly good. This is great.
Right. So you didn't have the experience where you got beat up by all the old people. You were instantly drilling them. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know if I was instantly drilling, but I could step on a court with people who have been playing and not feel too out of place. Which,
because of your tennis background, is that what you kind of credit it to?
I'd say so. Yeah. I didn't have the hands, I didn't have the dings, but I had a drive, so that was nice.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
And yeah, the whole Pklmart effort, pickleball is so young, and I've had so many questions. When I watch a pro stream, this is the one I always tell. Commentators love to say, oh, that was a great timeout to stop the momentum. And I always thought maybe they're right, but I don't know if momentum's real. I feel like they're just filling time. Where's the data? And
right.
Yeah, no, pickleball's young. There isn't really much data on that kind of stuff. So I was like, well, let's try to collect it and answer some questions. So that started Super Bowl Sunday of last year. So yeah, this effort's been going on for a little over a year now.
So do timeouts matter? Did you figure that out?
It's funny. I haven't looked too closely at it, even though we definitely have the data for it. And B, people ask me like, "Oh, have you looked at your own play?" And the answer is like, not really. Like,
Right. But
um,
that is so cool how you took your love of pickleball and then something that you do with your job in analytics and statistics and data, and you've kind of merged the two, which I think a lot of people are doing in this kind of new pickleball era of finding things they love. I mean, even like Abby and I, this podcasting thing, I have background in sportscasting and in media, and we've kind of found the ability to do lessons and things like that. And it's like worlds colliding, but things that we love kind of all coming together. So maybe tell us a little bit about, give us a brief overview of what Pklmart is, and then we are going to jump into it a little bit later and even kind of look at some of the data from some of our own games. But for those of us that are listening that have never heard of Pklmart, what is it? And kind of tell us about it. It's been going on for a year, you said.
yep. So the name is a little confusing. The idea is that it's supposed to be a data mart for pickleball. Pklmart. It's not a store. Sorry, anyone that wanted it to be a store. No, so the goal of the Pklmart is to aggregate data and help answer some of the questions like that timeout question, but mainly to help players improve. So if you played a match and you got beat and you're like, I have no idea what happened, let's get the data. Like, let's figure out what's going on. Were your thirds working? Were there some dink patterns that just did not work for you? And people like can get a feel after a match. They're like, yeah, I don't think this worked well. But being able to aggregate over multiple matches, I think is really impactful. And oftentimes the data will show something that you may not intuitively have thought of.
Right.
Well, like,
yeah, that's
yeah, I mean, like when I was looking through your website, one of the things that I never really processed, and we had chatted about this before, is that return down the line is a more effective return. And then as you and I chatted through that, that's just really fascinating information. So I don't know if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, that was a pretty fun study. Like the return is a shot that you hit basically every rally. If people don't think much of it, and obviously you want to get it in. It's goal number one. But assuming you can get it in consistently, like any percentage points that you can pick up on location, might as well take advantage of it, right?
Right.
Like any edge you can get. And so, yeah, like you're saying, that down the line return, especially on the right side to what would be the left side player's backhand.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, that'll increase the error rate a couple of percentage points, which, over the course of a match, hey, 2 or 3 points, we'll take that.
Right.
So,
right.
Alex, how granular can you get with the data to even look like the further or the closer you get to the sideline, does it increase your chance of winning that point? Is that kind of like a next level thing in terms of like even how close to the line you are versus just like, oh yeah, I got it to their backhand or to the left side of the court?
Yeah, we could do something like that. So we do track shot level data. I think that's what makes a lot of these analyses possible. I will say we track the point of contact of each shot. I know we would love to track where balls actually bounce. That's certainly something we want to do in the future. Yeah, I mean, we have the point of contact for each shot in any given rally. Its trajectory, because where the next person hit their shot. And yeah, like you said, there's so much you can do with that.
Yeah, so let me just pause for just a second and say, if you're listening and you are not familiar with Pklmart, it'd be a good idea to even pause the podcast right now, go over and check it out, just so you have a little bit more context of what we're talking about. We'll get into looking at some of this stuff later on in the podcast, but I think
Pklmart.
Yes, Pklmart, Pklmart.com. So if you go to www.pklmart, kind of like Walmart, but not Walmart, PKL, that are the WAL, that'll get you there. And it's a beautiful site, and the data, the printout of it is just, it looks great. So you've done a heck of a job with it in just 1 year. I can only imagine, we'll talk later about where you want to go with it in the future, but you've done a great job with it. It's right up my alley. I'm kind of a stats geek and a numbers nerd. So combine that with pickleball. I'm just not smart enough to build a computer program around it. So that's pretty amazing you've done that.
I appreciate it. Yeah, no, it's definitely I'd say it's definitely been a team effort. I got a buddy who was front end developer. If anyone wants to go and do data entry on their own matches, it's completely free. We'll give you the report. And he helped build that whole interface. We got a little community, a Discord group, people chat, like what would happen if you tried hitting this shot, any sort of analyses people are talking. Even my friends in the local area, they're always coming up with new ideas. We got one guy who's really big on the computer vision front. He's been doing some great stuff. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, I think that's an important detail I want to make sure that people don't miss is that they can upload their own videos from rec play or tournament play and can do this tracking themselves, right?
Their own data entry.
And then I just think that's really cool.
So you were gracious enough to do a couple of our games for us.
Very kind. Thank you.
And I think there is probably a little bit of a learning curve to it. I sat with it for probably about an hour, and it took me a little bit of time to learn, where even you mentioned earlier about it's the point of contact. I was at first trying to figure out where's the ball bouncing, and my video wasn't that great, so it's hard to figure out. But once I figured that out, I got faster and faster with it. I would imagine, how long did it take you to do each of our games, roughly?
So, I've gotten pretty good at using the tool. And I'd say the video was about like 15 minutes for the first game.
Yeah.
Probably took me about 15 minutes to do.
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah. So you can get pretty good at it. I mean, you can really start cranking them out.
Yes. I'd say after your first 3 matches, you will be set. Although those first couple matches will be painful. No question about it.
Yeah. Yep. But if you're really interested, I mean, if you really want to dig deep in your own game,
I think when people see the data, the payoff is well worth that investment to learn that. So are you watching it in real time then? When you say you can do it pretty much in full time, you're not slowing it down? Because I know you suggest when you're first starting to watch it at about half speed or 3/4 speed.
Yep, I'm doing it at about like 0.8 times speed.
Yeah.
And then you can always skip over like the timeouts and the dead time.
Yeah. Very cool. I did want to mention, you talked about your personal life a little bit, but you have some pretty big news. You are getting married soon. Is that correct?
That's right. That's right. September. Yeah, no, September. I'm excited.
Yeah, so you can't really travel much this year.
Right.
So you're not going to be many big tournaments.
We're actually traveling to Turkey, which will be really fun. That's like our travel before the wedding. And unfortunately, no pickleball tournament travel. Maybe after the wedding. We'll see.
Yeah. Is there pickleball in Turkey?
Yeah. Will you take your paddle?
Ooh, I haven't even looked. I nowadays, I bet there is.
Yeah.
A paddle's not heavy. I think you just stick it in your bag.
Just in case.
You never know.
You never know. We went on
I've heard. Oh yeah.
Go ahead. No, go.
I've heard TSA sometimes gets mad.
That's all right. Yeah.
Well, we did it.
Yeah. We went on our 20th anniversary trip out to Vegas last summer. And which
is so funny.
Yeah, because we said, we'll bring our paddles. I don't think we'll play. And on the way, a friend who had recently moved out to Vegas told us about Sunset Park, which is beautiful. If anybody is heading out towards Vegas, check out Sunset Park. And we were there pretty much every morning, 7 a.m.
and
evening, 7 p.m. It was like, those are the times you have to play in Vegas. It's 7 a.m., 7 p.m. So
that's awesome.
Your fiance, does she play a little bit, a lot?
She'll dabble. Oh yeah. She'll definitely dabble. She's
Have
got the one of those
together.
We played one tournament early on. It was fine.
And you survived it. You're still engaged.
You're still getting married.
Yeah. That's good. That's great. And then, just maybe talk a little bit about your personal journey through pickleball. So you kind of interrupted you and we took a little bit of a sidetrack, but You started playing COVID. Did we come up with a term
Yeah, we need like a name.
for like these,
All of us COVID people.
like us COVID, like boomers or something? I don't know.
Gen C.
Gen P
Like-
for pickleball. But it's like we all started playing. There's so many of us that started playing around the COVID time. We'll work on coming up with a name for that. But then would you say you entry level with your tennis background, we're at like a 4.0? You're playing what now, 5.0 level pretty much? Is that correct?
Yeah, I'd say probably came in around 4.0. My singles game, I think, was actually pretty good to begin with.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how much better it's gotten, but yeah, no, my doubles game's definitely improved over time. I'd say between, the COVID cohort, call it the COVID cohort,
Yeah.
since
I like it. COVID, cool.
Yeah.
yeah, like I'm playing closer to 5.0 now.
Yeah.
And I'm still having a blast. Like,
That's awesome.
well, I've had hobbies where I get addicted, and then a year, 2 years, I'm like, all right, I'm done with this. Pickleball, like I'm still going as strong as ever.
Yeah.
Like you still get that excited feeling when you're like, I get to go play pickleball.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I love that.
Yeah. And I think it's also, at least for me personally, it's because I feel like I can get so much better. Like I see the progress, it's tangible, but then it's like, man, I still could get better. So I think as long as that's there for me, I'm the same way. I keep playing.
So you've said you felt like you're better at singles, and you said it's because you don't feel like your hands are quick enough. So with this drill you're doing, are you preparing for doubles? I mean, are you trying to get into this doubles?
Yeah, I think almost all the drilling I do is for doubles.
Yeah. Okay.
And my hands are slowly getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that I feel like that's one of those areas of the game where like natural athletes with great hand-eye and quick reflexes, like they can pick those hand battles up pretty fast. And like, I mean, I'm not a bad athlete, but like, I don't know. It's not my forte.
Right. Well, I mean, you probably have, I mean, everybody's got a little bit of weakness to their game, but obviously you're at a 5.0 level. So I'm sure your hands are probably great.
Dude, I get
That's gonna go on the
chicken wing
promo.
all the time.
I'm sure your hands are probably great, Alex.
Oh, thank you.
So how much tournament play do you get? You're a pretty busy guy, building websites, working. Do you get to play in many tournaments?
Yeah, I actually do a lot of the local stuff. So even if it's like a non-sanctioned thing, I'm trying to do like one a month or so.
Yeah.
That's nice.
We have a good group out here in the DC area. So we'll even do like kind of pop-up informal tournaments, which I think are a blast.
That's nice.
We're actually doing
Like
like
you
a
win money?
major league. Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the best kind.
Are you starting to do more of those? I feel like more of those are popping up in our area where there's like money tournaments. They're everybody's throwing in a little something, and feel like the first couple of years we played, maybe we just didn't know about them. There wasn't much of that going on, but now I feel like there's a lot more money involved.
Yeah, well, what I like about those, at least in our area, is like usually it's a round robin format. So you just get so many more games in than you would like a typical sanctioned tournament.
Oh, yeah. That's awesome.
Have you gotten to do many of the duper style, or I'm sorry, the Major League Pickleball style team tournament type stuff?
Dude, I was just going to mention that. We're going to try that out on Saturday.
Are you really? That's awesome.
Like dream breakers and everything?
Yeah, we're doing, it's slightly different, but if you tie, we will have a dream breaker.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
And
That'll be fun.
how about scoring rules? Are you going to do MLP scoring in terms of
like the
play,
rally where you
on
stay on one side?
Yeah. Like left-sided player stays on the left, you don't switch and all that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we are going to follow MLP rally scoring. It's funny,
awesome.
we actually we built like the rally scoring option into the Pklmart data entry tool pretty recently.
I did see that as an option in the drop down that you could choose.
I mean, that I feel like rallies coming.
Yeah.
So that's good.
But it's only the MLP rally that you have, not the traditional rally. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah, it's only like the freeze at 18.
Yeah.
Or 21, 18. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would guess the programming behind that wasn't real simple. I don't know. Maybe it was.
It was actually way easier than
Was
normal
it really?
scoring. Yeah,
I guess, yeah, pickleball scoring in general
Seriously.
is super complicated. We were doing a clinic tonight with about 20 people, most of whom had never played. And it's always challenging trying to teach them the score or teach them how to score. Is always makes me laugh because you're like, okay, no, everybody gets to serve twice, you know, each side, except for the first time. Everybody looks at you like you're an idiot. It's like, no, you'll get it eventually. Trust us. So
sounds about right.
yeah. Anything else, Ads, you want to talk website wise? Kind of where you're at. We mentioned you've had this going for about a year. What are your goals for it, or where are you really wanting to take it?
Yeah, I would love to do this full time. That's like, still a little bit of a pipe dream. Like we're having fun every day. We're like, oh, what if we build this into the tool? Yeah, we just build it.
Yeah.
But I would love to see the community, use the data entry tool, and we'll talk more about that in a bit. But like, I would love to get the community using it. I'd love to see people from across the nation, across the globe, like, entering their data, seeing where they can improve. I think that'll really accelerate the game in terms of strategy. Like I'm sure you guys have noticed over the past couple of years, like there have been some pretty significant strategy changes. And with data coming in, I think it's just going to accelerate that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, like, do you feel like, you've had some phone calls with some pros, right?
Yeah. I'm not going to name drop, but yeah, definitely had people reach out.
I mean, this could change. I feel like this could change. I feel like pickleball's already changed since I started. Since 3 years ago, it's already not a different game, but it's
evolving.
It's
for
evolved,
sure.
Yeah. And so, do you feel like throwing this in will change it even more? I mean,
I would like to think so. I mean, again, people will take any small gains, like even if changing the location of your third shot drop only increases your opponent's error rate by like 3%. I mean, we take that.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'll do that.
3% is big.
Yep.
I mean, and then like you have these team owners, right? You have these owners, these MLP owners who want the biggest bang for their buck. They're buying these things. They want statistically the best players.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm like, you call up Mark Cuban. You're like, Mark, I have technology for you. And he's like a billionaire. So
have you had anybody come to you for sponsorships or offered any sponsorships? Or is that something you're seeking out or not necessarily at this point?
I mean, I'd hear someone out, but I will say we now have 3 sponsored players, and by sponsored, we'll run match reports, analyses for them. They get a sweet Pklmart hat. Hopefully we'll see them play some pro level events. Yeah, it's exciting.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's only gonna explode. Like, I'm excited for you. I think you're onto something really cool.
I'm glad we're getting you on the podcast now, because I think you're going to be too big time for us and too much longer.
I appreciate it. I'll tell you, like, other sports, they've done this.
Yeah.
They've like automated a lot of it. I'm not going to be shocked when, someone that's been doing this for tennis for years comes into pickleball and, probably does it better than what we're doing now. Like, I mean, I'm going to keep going with it because I love it and it's so much fun. But I think you're going to see a lot more individuals kind of pursuing an analytics approach to pickleball, trying to figure out the game from that perspective.
And I think what does make your product unique is the accessibility of it for just the average player, or even the above average player who takes their game seriously, the amateur though still. It's a great tool to help, identify some things that you could improve on, But like Abby said, also, it's could be a very advantageous tool for the big money guys who are, more and more money starting to pour into this sport. People are going to be looking for every little advantage they can get. So
Yep.
I'm excited
And
for it. See where it goes.
thank you.
Yeah.
Like I think, I mean, you guys mentioned like trying to improve your own game. I could see this being used for scouting other players out.
Mm,
Mhm.
Like
that's
that might
next
even be
level. I
bigger.
like it. Yeah.
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 If you run your own game, like, has there been something you've implemented because you run your own statistics where you're like, I do this now when I used to do this?
Yep. So it's one was a change in my own game, and one was based on what I saw my opponents doing. So for my own game, I've always wondered where I should be putting my drop. Um, I generally play the left side, and I'm
Mhm.
like, all right, like I like to go either middle or I like to go to the opponent's left side player's backhand. It's like that really crossball.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Dude, if you can consistently hit that drop to the left side player's backhand,
Ugh.
which I'm getting better at, like it is almost a free invite to the kitchen.
Yeah.
Catherine Parento does it so well. If you look at any of her match reports, like her drops, she hits that spot nonstop, and she gets her team to the kitchen consistently. So that's definitely a change I've made in my game. And I'm not trying to force it every single rally, but
Right.
like if I have a choice of where I can place my third, yeah, I'm probably going there. The other change I've noticed is there's a guy that I play a lot in local play, and people don't realize his third shot looks ugly, but it is so effective. So now when I play him in tournament, like I'm not returning to you.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
Yeah.
easy change.
Yeah.
So by that second one, you're saying you're really trying to identify who the stronger third shot returner is,
Yeah.
and really
Avoid him.
avoiding them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
And you may not have this data, but I just have to ask, as a right-sided player,
Mhm.
where should I put my drop? I don't get a ton because I'm female and they're trying to keep him back. But when I get them, where should I put them?
I think the answer, like a lot of these questions, is it depends. Uh, I in both mixed and probably in women's, I really like. So if you're the right side player, going cross right gives you a little more space to work with, going over the lower part of the net. I like going cross to the other right side player's left foot.
Okay.
So either making them hit like kind of a pickup backhand, or really forcing the left side player to step over, because a lot of people actually don't feel comfortable. And so at least test them out. You like,
Yeah.
Now
make sure they are comfortable.
that shot requires a little more precision, because if you miss a little bit to the right, you're going to be putting it right in the wheelhouse.
Because that's my fear. Because I, as the right-sided player, if I'm going cross court, it's typically a forehand,
Right.
and I'm just like,
Yeah.
I can get nailed pretty good with that if I miss it.
Yeah.
Within inches. I feel like.
Right. Yeah, but I bet the data would support
Yeah.
that being a better option than
Yeah.
trying to go straight ahead.
I actually do a lot of straight ahead to
Yeah.
this person. The person in front of me is backhand.
So it really,
Oh,
no matter what, we're kind of trying to go.
Yeah.
So we kind of name the spots, like as we're looking across the court, 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know if you've heard that method before, but like
We hit 4 a lot.
right. So we're a lot of times saying drop 4, trying to really find that spot. And most of the time it's me trying to take those thirds, but then sometimes I'll come too far over and then they're pushing back to me on my backhand, and then that doesn't go so well. So I'm so interested in logging more of my matches to really see, when I take that ball, where is that line on the court where if I'm getting too far over on Abby's side, that I'm setting us up and we're losing those rallies. Like that's the stuff that I'm super interested in. So
that's a really good question.
Yeah.
I kind of want to run an analysis on that now.
Do it.
Also,
man.
Abby, if you consistently hit 4 from the right side, power to you.
I mean, I feel like I do.
Yeah. I think you're you're more comfortable with that shot for sure.
I know.
Now,
I hit a lot of third straight ahead, which maybe isn't smart.
the
But
shot that Abby would tell you she would love to learn to hit, that a lot of the tennis ladies that we play against is from that right side, hitting a roll back to like one, and they have that forehand roll,
that
and they can just, and yes, that's to the right-sided player's forehand over there,
but it's ungettable.
Yeah, but typically that's the female or the right-sided player there, and it's a tough one. But I know Abby's been working on that, but we don't have that tennis background, so putting that top spin naturally on it is a little bit of a challenge. So you do that well. You hit to four pretty consistently, but then people start to learn that, and if they're good enough, they'll jump the kitchen, Ernie us on one that's hit a little too high to that spot.
Yeah,
that's what I was going to mention. That's what I love about this game. There's a lot of strategy, and then there's counterplay.
Oh yeah,
and then when there's counterplay, man, it starts the cycle.
It's chess.
That's right.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
it is. All right. Hey, Alex, we're going to take a quick break, and then we'll come back. We want to look at a couple of the games that you took the time to analyze for us, and we'll look at that and talk a little bit more. So thanks so much. We'll be right back.
Are you new to the game of pickleball and looking to learn the basics? Or maybe you're an experienced player who wants to take your game to the next level? Both Matt and I would love to help.
That's right, Abby. We are both Level 2 IPTPA certified instructors and would love working with you, either giving you private lessons, group lessons, or hosting a clinic. We also offer unique video coaching utilizing the latest in drone technology. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube, or TikTok by searching Hoosier Pickleball, or email us at hoosierpickleball@gmail.com. Also, check out the show notes for all the links to our social channels.
All right, welcome back to one more game presented by Hoosier Pickleball. We are joined again by Alex Spancake. I love your name, by the way, Alex. Does it ever get run? I bet so many people think your last name is actually just Pancake, but
I've heard every permutation of it.
Yeah, probably
Alex Spancake. Yeah,
a lot of breakfast puns. I'm sure you've had to put up with in your life.
It was it's been fun. Ever since I hit high school, it became cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Elementary school is it's so weird.
Yeah.
I think there's actually a golf pro in the Indianapolis area that's a couple hours south of us whose last name is just Pancake, no S on the beginning of it. So I've heard, an iteration of your name previously. Actually, when I first heard it, I thought your last name was Pancakes. It is an awesome name though. But anyways, Alex is the founder. Am I saying that right? Founder.
Sure. Yeah.
One of the owners of Pklmart, Pklmart.com. And it is a data warehouse dedicated to pickleball and improving your game. So check it out. All you listeners out there, you definitely want to go up there. Play around with it. You'll kind of see right now. We're going to pull it up. So if you're listening and not watching, it would be a great idea later to watch our YouTube channel as well. A copy of this podcast, because we're going to actually show what Alex's website looks like. So should we do that now?
Yeah.
Okay. So once again, Alex was gracious enough to log a couple of our games. So I'm going to see if I can bring our screen up here, and you should be able to see a couple different matches that we had. Now, I think we'll just show one of them because, quite frankly, the other one was so brutal. It had Abby considering retiring from pickleball.
That was one of my questions I was going to ask Alex. I have it right here. Should Abby retire?
Should Abby retire?
No. There's no such thing as retiring from pickleball. No one quits pickleball.
Yeah. No one quits pickleball.
That's right. It's impossible. Some have tried, none have succeeded.
So this game, though, I need to mention that I believe Riley listens to our podcast.
Yes. So
we'll put this in the show notes so that Riley can go look at his game with Hannah.
Yep. So Riley and Hannah, if I'm not mistaken, are they engaged? I feel like
I thought they were married. I don't know.
Well, their last names are different.
That doesn't matter.
That doesn't matter. It's 2023, Matt. But yes, they we played with them against them a couple times.
Yeah.
And this was our opening match in this Columbus tournament. And one thing I'll say right away, so this, just to give context, this is the output after Alex had inputted all of our data. And these reports are beautiful, man. I don't know if you're the one behind this, or you said you have kind of a guy who does more of the computer interface side of things, but you guys will see it's pretty amazing. You'll want to check those out for sure.
Oh yeah, this report had so many iterations. I made some really bad ones before we got to this one.
That's awesome. Is it still evolving, or has it gotten to the point where you feel like it's kind of what you're trying to do?
No, there are a couple sections I want to expand upon, like dink patterns, more transition zone stats. Definitely want to add more, but I'm pretty happy with where it is now.
Yeah. So you can see down the left side, there's like 4 categories. Is that right? Match summary. And then those are broken down into rally length, player impact, shot heat map, shot type, frequency. And then it has third shot drop breakdown, kitchen rally breakdown, and then a breakdown of errors. So one thing that jumped out.
That's a lot of good info.
It is. I mean, like seriously, I will probably be looking over this a ton in the next couple of days, because I've only had a chance to really go through it quickly. One thing I'll say though, right off the bat, that I found really interesting was just the rally lengths. First of all, are way shorter.
So short
than they should be.
But can that be nerves?
Could be nerves, yeah. But in our
so lame.
Yeah, in our second match, I think it was not much better. 8.7, which couldn't have been. I mean, maybe it was nerves because we were playing against the people that went on to win the gold.
Literally 8.6 and 8.7.
Yeah, so pretty much the same. But what I was going to say is even more so. So both of these matches, in one, we won 11-2, and in the other, we got beat 11-2. And if you would tell me, like, well, how many points do you think you won? What percentage if you won a match 11-2? I don't know. I would guess, well, probably like 90% of them, maybe 80, 85. But we won 65, basically 65% of the rallies. And they won 35. And then it was pretty much the exact opposite in the one we got smashed in. We won 35% of the rallies. They won 65. So I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
That games are still, even when you get mutilated in pickleball, you're still winning a third of the rallies. Right?
Oh yeah. People see an 11-0, 11-0 scoreline.
Right.
Yeah, that could be 22 rallies. It could also be like 200, right? You
Right.
don't know.
Right. Right. Exactly. So okay. So Alex, maybe kind of talk us through anything on here that you want to that maybe you noticed or that you think was really interesting data, or just kind of your site in general with the data output that you think the listeners really enjoy hearing more about.
Sure. Yeah. First thing I'll say is the rally length that you mentioned. 8.6 is like pretty standard, I'd say, for like 4.0 to 5.0 play.
Okay.
The pros it's usually closer to like 9 to 12. So I would not say that is abnormal.
Really? Well, that's interesting.
Yep.
I thought you were going to say like 19 to 20 for the pros, but it's not that much significantly higher.
Yeah. I mean, think about every third you miss, right? That's a 3-shot rally right there.
Yeah.
Sure.
That was not supposed to be targeted, to be clear. But yeah, this first section we're looking at it's setting the stage. There isn't necessarily anything in this match summary section that you're going to be like, oh wow, I need to work on this. It is more being like, all right, give me a feel for how the match, like what was the flow of the match, who was hitting more balls, like who was getting targeted, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in this case, it is a mixed match, and the opponents in this match did not stack. So if you look at their heat map, I think it's actually pretty obvious. If you look at like where the balls were hit,
yeah,
they're like pretty evenly spaced out. Whereas the balls that you guys hit, I mean, Abby's definitely get more balls in the right ear, which is like pretty typical of a mixed match. And I believe you guys stacked on serve and return, right?
We do. Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Most of the time. Yeah.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
I think the shot frequency section, I'm just going to make a point that I like to make a lot. So there's a table for all of you guys listening that just shows like how many serves were hit, how many dinks were hit, etc. Right. The most common shot type, and this is true for a lot of matches, are shots hit from the transition zone, which is true for this match. Like in this case, 28% of shots were either the team trying to get to the kitchen and resetting, or the team at the net kind of repelling that team. So if you're looking to drill something, transition zone's a great spot. You hit a lot of balls in a match there.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
Is that dink percentage is 25% essentially? Is that typical? Is that what do you think about that?
Yeah, that seems about right. I definitely see some pro matches where the number of dinks, the percentage is pretty high. Definitely the case in tournaments that use Franklins, which I believe that tournament you guys played was using a Franklin, right?
It was, yeah.
Yeah. It's so hard to speed that thing up. I feel like it just dies compared to the Dura.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
For sure.
Yeah.
And especially in a lot of the venue. I mean, we were playing indoors in this one, but we noticed, especially when we were in Florida recently, if you play with a Franklin down in hot weather, humidity, I mean, it turns into like a marshmallow, and then it gets extremely hard to speed up. So definitely understand that.
Yeah, I want to do an analysis on that at some point. But
I'm sure you do, Alex.
Cool. Awesome. So the next section, third shot breakdown. All right, everyone wants to know, what should I be doing with my third? This section, at least within the match, is going to try to answer that question. So the first graphic is showing everybody's drive to drop ratio, who hit most of the thirds. So in this case, Abby hit, looks like in this one game alone, she hit 13 thirds, which to me indicates that the opponents were probably putting the returns to her. Whether that was a good strategy or not, well, let's look below. Abby hit 13 drops. All of her thirds were drops. Okay, that's probably worth noting, especially if the returning team wanted to stack. If I know that person's going to drop every ball, great. Like, let me just return to them, get the stack cleanly through. There you go. She missed one. That's fine. The win rate.
So on that front, Alex, I remember we saw a stat, and we'll reference it from time to time. We'll say 4%, because the pros only miss 4% of their thirds. So, we think about that as, you miss only 1 out of every 20. So, in a game, to only miss one is pretty good. I mean, you had 13 opportunities, 12, 13, whatever it was, and to only miss one's pretty good.
But to his point, I'm not a threat if people are stacking, because sometimes we'll have to unstack if they're driving too much and I can't get to where I need to be or whatever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've always known I need to work on my drives. I don't drive much at all.
Yeah. But I think that's good. I mean, I think that's smart, opposed to me. I've hit 2 drives, I guess. And I feel like it'd be interesting to see if the data backs that up, but I feel like my drives are not very successful. Oh, what does it say, Alex? 50% of the time they're successful?
Yeah, sample size 2.
Yeah.
Hey, but of the 4 points you hit a drop, Matt, or of the 5 points, you won 4 of them. I don't know. Maybe there's something there.
I mean, that's the hard thing for me. My strength is my third shot drops, but I also am a very active player, and I like for my partner to take the third so that I can get up there and try to cause some havoc and, poach or disrupt or whatever. So
actually, that's what I was going to say, just based on watching your game. I really like Abby's drop while you apply pressure. Like, I think that is a really good combo. But if we wanted to, so what's cool about this graphic for people listening is, there are all these stats that we just mentioned. You could see like when Abby hit a drop, you guys got to the dink rally about a third of the time. That's a cool metric. And you can also see how often you ended up winning the rally, et cetera, et cetera. But if you want, you can literally go onto, there is a map that kind of visualizes each shot.
And that's called the third shots visualized. Is that what we're looking at here? Yeah,
exactly. Yep. And so if I'm scouting and I'm gonna play Abby soon. I mean, I might be like, all right, like, what does her third look like? You can literally click on the little shot and watch the replay instantly,
God, that
which I
is
think from a
so
coaching
cool.
perspective is really valuable. Yeah.
Let me just repeat that again. So
Yeah.
remember, this is tied into a YouTube video that I just had uploaded, shared the link with Alex, and he did this on his own. Very simple to do. You just take the video and now it's timestamped. So am I doing this correctly? Where if I click here, it's going to actually pull up with that timestamp and it's going to see the drop that was hit there. And that was one of Abby's there.
Oh, you missed that ball,
Sorry.
But that is really cool that you can,
It is
that
so
you
cool.
have linked each data point with the actual video.
Yep.
That's really fun.
Yeah, so it's super cool. I think that's a underrated aspect. When I first saw it, I was like, no way. You can't just have it pop up that exact point, but it's not like it just names it. It actually takes you
Yeah.
right there. So
Yeah.
very cool.
Yeah.
All right, what else, Alex? Let's maybe look at a couple more things. You have the kitchen rally breakdown is the third of 4 sections.
Yep. So you can kind of see where people are placing their dinks. Do they like to go back cross? Who's making errors? You know, same kind of thing where the errors are actually outlined in red. So if you want to watch all your errors, you know, see what you're doing wrong.
That's what I like to do. Abby's not so into that. You want to forget it and move on. That's what she says.
Sometimes it's nice to have that goldfish mind.
Yeah. And just again, for those listening, what I love about this is there's the data. You know, we've got a table with this stuff laid out: team, player, dinks, dink errors, and the error percentage. But then there's also a visual that shows a heat map and shows each of these things as well. So it's just it's awesome. I love it.
It's really cool.
Yeah, I really like the speed up section below. It's probably the last one we'll mention here, but you know, not like this is only one game, so there's only so much data. But like if I was looking at Hannah's game, like, okay, she only hit 2 speed ups, but they're both cross court, which is typically not what you see. And if you played more matches against them, like you can start to see like, oh, this person like really likes speeding up cross, which is really good to know, especially for the player that is supposed to shift and cover middle, right?
Yeah. So those were really the only 2 speed ups in the entire game. Is that right?
From their end.
From their end.
You all had a
okay.
couple more for sure. Yep.
Yeah. Very interesting. Yeah, I can see on the
I
heat
make
map
bad
here.
choices.
led to loss, it says on here. So
hey, you had 2 that led to a win, 2 that led to a loss.
right. Small sample size.
Yeah.
And then then it gets down to the errors visualized. So what is it talking that constitutes an error? Anytime, I guess that was one thing as I was entering the data myself, was it's a subjective thing, whether or not it's an error versus an unforced error versus a winner. Is that your tennis background that you kind of know those in the back of your head, or is there something on the website that actually kind of tells you how to think through each of those?
Yeah, you're spot on. It's pretty subjective. This is definitely one of the most variable parts of the data entry. And if you're doing the data entry, you have the option to log an unforced error. My personal rule of thumb is, and it's much easier to do on my own matches because I know my general skill level. Like if I'm hitting a ball that I should make at least 50% of the time, I'm logging that as an error. If my opponent smacks the ball super hard at my feet that I could get, but I'm only making like a 5th of the time, I'm not logging that as an error. That's a good ball.
Are you logging that as a winner for them?
So I usually will not. I'll just say that other team won the rally. But in the data, you can see like, okay, my opponent hit a ball that was unreturned. It was probably a good shot. But clean winners are logged. So which includes body bags.
Okay. So that is, I guess, my question. That's probably my lack of tennis background. A winner is considered a ball that they don't even touch or with their paddle then. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, sometimes I'll use it like on balls that like, players outstretched and it hits the frame of the paddle that they really had no shot on. But yeah,
But if they hit
I think you got it.
if they hit a hard shot to your foot that you just can't get back, that's not necessarily a winner then.
Correct. That is how I am currently defining it.
Yep.
But what's beautiful is like if you do your data entry, like, do we want people to have a general consistent use of those? Yeah. But you can define an error or winner however you want, and we'll give you the report.
And then it gives you the data you might be looking for, the report showing what, and that would be, I'd probably be pretty aggressive and hypercritical of what an error is, at least for myself, to be able to log those and see, how could I improve in those areas. But that's just me. Abby might be very gracious on
I
herself.
count all of mine as winners.
It's very positive. Anything else to show on the report, Alex, or is that kind of give a good?
I think that's a good overview. Yeah, definitely check it out if you're listening when you get home or whatever. I will say we are working on, so once you have multiple matches, you can get a kind of a sense for players' tendencies. So we're working to build player profiles on players that we have multiple matches for. Same idea for team profiles. So if you've played with the same person multiple times, like, you might ask, like, man, should I be playing the left or the right? Well, if you have data, like, we can probably answer.
Right. And I love that too. I mean, this was so cool to go through it with you. I mean, that's almost like next level stuff. But as you build this out, if there was like consulting you guys could give to just your average players, to be able to break it down. Because I would say most players are going to look at that data and they may be able to pick out a couple things, but man, it was really helpful to hear you kind of talk through some of those points as well.
Oh, appreciate that. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm always happy to go through reports with people, but I think people, you guys hosted a clinic, right?
Yeah.
See, you have a kind of like a coaching mindset. I think that is also who these reports are catered to.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're a coach, these are kind of things that you're thinking about all the time, and to be able to, show a report to someone that you are coaching and even like watch the replay of a shot.
Yeah.
I think that is valuable from a coaching perspective.
That's awesome.
Oh yeah. I mean, absolutely. Like, I mean, if you're talking, you can extrapolate data that says that so-and-so should be on the left and not the right. That's huge.
That is huge.
It's huge.
Absolutely. And what I heard Alex say is that we're going to do this weekly.
Oh yeah, I did too.
Yeah. And so he can break down our matches and he can help us get to that 5-0 plus level.
Perfect.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe not weekly, but yeah.
No. So, whenever I tell people, whenever they have a match that they want to input, I will help you get up and running. Like, we have a vested interest in getting people to use the tools. That's more data for us, right? It's mutually beneficial.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So how do people, say we have friends who, amateurs, they want to upload their video, they upload their video. How is there like a contact on your website, like just to contact you and for you to help?
Yeah. Yep. There is a contact. There's that email address. You can also send directly to it. It's Pklmart, PKLMart.analytics@gmail.
Okay.
Also, you can DM us on Instagram. I actually think I just posted a pretty cool analysis on our Instagram pretty recently that I would tell people to check out. It's all about, can you win points as a serving team without even having to go to the kitchen? Answer is sometimes, yeah. And
Really?
we walk through how teams do it.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Said that email was pklmart.analytics@gmail.com.
That's right.
Okay, because I'll link that.
Yeah, we'll put that in the show notes. We'll put the link to the website in the show notes as well. And then even the data output from both of our matches.
Just one of them.
Or maybe just one of them. Yeah, for sure. Well, we need to give a shout out to Michael Ronick and Tammy
Steele,
Steele because
who
they
wiped the floor with
they
us.
wiped the floor with us. So it wasn't we were avoiding that, but yeah, I don't know.
I would like to never see that data again.
Right, that's right.
Okay.
All right. So anything else for Alex, or we always end with a game, so we got to do our little hot seat game. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Is
Okay.
Alex ready?
Is Alex ready?
He just took a drink. He's good to go.
Yes.
Well, let's do it.
All
Yeah.
right. So this is just like an either or thing. And then we run our own data analysis and we're able to come up with a really good profile on you based on this. Not really. I don't know. It's just for fun. All right. So a drive or a dink? What's your preference?
Drive.
Drive.
Drive to survive.
I knew it. And it's fun after we do these because I feel like I can take a pretty good guess and know what people are going to say. This one I don't. Coke or Pepsi?
Oh, Coke.
Go. Okay.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
What's the
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I'm from North Carolina and I still say Coke, you know?
Right. You don't even say
Yeah.
pop or anything. You say Coke for everything. Is that how? Is that?
Oh, Pepsi's from North Carolina.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay.
Yeah.
We don't know those
I'm
things.
sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Like Coke.
Left side or right side?
Left side.
Yeah, I think you said you'd like that. All right. How about Jordan or LeBron?
Oh, I don't really like either. I'll go with LeBron. I'll go with LeBron.
Okay.
Well, we should give him tennis players like Federer or Nadal.
Yeah, there you go. That'd be
Oh, probably go with Roger.
Roger.
Yeah.
Okay, how about pizza? Chicago style or New York style or DC style? Does DC have a style of pizza?
We have some good jumbo slice, but I'll go New York style.
Yeah, all
Mm.
right.
Yeah.
That's where you're at.
It's a good choice.
Mixed or men's or singles? What's your preference?
I think it's men's.
Even over singles, huh? Even though it's kind of
That's what I'm decent at it, but it's not as fun.
yeah.
I don't know anyone that says singles is more fun than doubles.
All right, this is getting a little dated, but
Yeah, you just need to delete that.
I like this one. Spin serve, or ban it.
Oh, I was okay. My take was that I was okay with the spin serve, but once you threw the ball up in the air, you couldn't redo it. That was it. You had to go.
I like that. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Like, yeah, because I was one of those that was because I had a spin serve, but there was definitely a couple times where I was fumbling
It was
over it and
Flying everywhere.
the 10 count was coming quickly. All right. Hat or headband or neither?
Not a huge headband guy. Definitely hat.
Okay. Hat on backwards, hat on forward.
Oh, it depends on my mood. You know, if I need to amp myself up, I'll turn it around.
All right. You win the toss. Are you choosing serve, side?
Defer. 100% defer.
Okay. And so
There's not a good reason. I just actually, you know what? If the side
You
does make a
defer?
difference, yeah, you can defer.
defer, and I got
Really?
called on this one time, like a technical. That means you're not choosing, right? So you're actually letting the other team choose whether they want to serve. You're not choosing side or either. You're just saying you choose.
Yeah, you're letting them make the first choice.
Okay.
Like in indoor tournaments, I'll usually do that just because it's weird and fun. But on an outdoor tournament, like with their son and stuff, I'll take side.
You'll
Yeah.
take side,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually like serving. This is another interesting thing for you to run. Maybe you have already. Is I like serving second. I feel like when I get my team to have the two serves, opposed to I just have to get one stop and then I get the ball for two serves. I feel like that's such an advantage. But
My intuition says it doesn't matter. But yeah, we could run the data.
you're probably right. And
We should just defer from now on.
I like
Just
defer,
see what
yeah.
messes with the
right,
times.
like whoa,
Yeah.
what's this guy doing?
Yeah, players are like, what? What did you say?
That's awesome.
Right.
Because you're so like mentally strong. You're like, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna win this.
Yeah, but what you can't do, ref called me out on this. If your opponent wins the toss, they pick side, you can't defer the next choice.
Really? Oh, that's
No.
funny. I didn't know that.
I don't want to know. Yeah, I don't want. I make no decisions. I like that. Hilarious.
That's great.
Ruby Tuesdays or TGI Fridays? Do you even have Ruby Tuesdays out east?
Oh, I've had it a couple times when I lived in California, but as a kid, I love TGI Fridays.
Oh, so did I. It was awesome. I'm a TGI Fridays guy too. I don't know that question. We need to scrap that one too. I don't even know.
It needs to be like In-N-Out burger or Whataburger or something like that. Like a better.
Ooh,
Yeah.
That's a good question, huh?
ooh, I do like it now.
I love In-N-Out.
In-N-Out's where it's at.
I had Whataburger for the first time a couple months ago when I was in Texas, and it wasn't even close. Like I was like In-N-Out all the way.
What?
All right,
Hold on.
we'll change that.
What's your burger at In-N-Out, Alex?
Oh man, I haven't been in like 4 years. I just get the animal fries.
Oh,
Well,
I
sure.
don't even know if I get the burger. Yeah.
Sure, yeah,
Yeah.
we get animal.
yeah. Double, animal style, animal
Chocolate
fries, chocolate shake. There it is.
Nice.
We may or may not. What was our over under when we were out for nationals? We were out there like 4 days, and I think we ate In-N-Out 5 times.
I think we counted the number of patties Matt had
Oh,
that week, and
man.
it was 13.
I did. I even tried a triple double one time. I came back like 5 pounds at least heavier. All right, last one.
Okay.
What's more satisfying, a body bag or an ATP?
ATP. I love hitting ATP.
Do you? That's awesome.
Oh yeah, dude. I still say sorry when I hit body bags, even though I don't need to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you get body bagged very often? I'm
Yeah.
Because you
I like.
Yeah.
Yeah, like my paddle should be up here. It's like down at my feet. Yeah, of course I get body bagged. It's like I feel so dumb.
Yeah. Is there an analytic yet that you have on Pklmart that accounts for body bags?
Not yet, but
Okay.
I like that.
I
It
don't
should be, where is your paddle when you got body bagged?
Right.
That should be the analytics.
see. I find I get body bags so much because it's not that my paddle is like in here or not up, but I'm more
You're
anticipating.
sliding.
Yeah, I'm sliding, trying to get ready to. And people that play with me a lot learn that, and so they just hit right into my body, and it's embarrassing.
Matt even gets like slow body bagged.
Yeah.
You can see it coming a mile away and he still can't move.
I don't know why
Nice.
we're all of a sudden being mean. It's getting late. Abby's getting mean. Alex, thank you so much for spending time with us, and we learned a lot. I'm going to be singing the praises of Pklmart to everybody I know. So thanks so much. Anything else you want to make sure you cover that we didn't already in this hour episode that we've had?
No, I think we hit all the big stuff. I appreciate Abby and Matt having me on. Good time.
No. Maybe we'll see you at a tournament sometime.
Yeah.
You were at Beer City last year, so maybe we'll see you sometime at wherever.
Yep. National.
Yeah.
One of the big ones, maybe.
I was so close to playing the APP Cincinnati. I
Were
did.
you really?
Yeah. Are you guys going to that?
We are.
Nice. Well,
Yeah.
there'll be a Pklmart sponsored player there, so
Really? Can you tell
I'll
us?
connect
who
you
that
all.
is?
Oh yeah. Her name's Monica Lynn. I think she's playing pro women's. She might be playing pro mix too. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll look for her. Is she from your area, or where is she? Okay.
Yeah. She's part of the COVID cohort. You know.
There you go.
Yeah,
COVID
there it is.
cohort.
COVID.
Yeah.
Trademark it.
We named it.
All right. All right. Thanks again, Alex. You have a great night, and thanks to all our listeners again. We will be back next week with more pickleball, and please do check out Alex's website. Again, that's at pklmart.com. Have a great day. Thanks again. See ya.
Thanks.
As always, we want to thank our sponsors, Hoosier Pickleball, Indiana Physical Therapy, and Pickleball Rocks. In addition, a big thank you to our production company, Coraggio Media, and the 95.7 WELT studio in beautiful downtown Fort Wayne. Please make sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts, or find us on YouTube at One More Game Pod. That's the number 1 More Game Pod. Hit that subscribe button and be sure to leave us a 5-star rating to help us spread the word. You can also find us on Facebook and TikTok at Hoosier Pickleball for all kinds of fun, tips, tricks, and other family nonsense, and also some great discussion. Thanks for listening, and we will see you next week.